So today is about integration, right? And I did actually, there was some thought put into this. Woo, sorry. And I have you ladies up here for a reason, right? Because I want all of you to walk away with like the practical tools to really to do this, right? And today's all been about embodiment, the practical tools, and I think these ladies are all, I mean, you're woo-woo, but you're also super practical, right? Like the work you all do is going to help them move forward. So I want to make this, I'm going to ask you some questions, but I also want to make this really interactive because this is your opportunity to ask these ladies any questions that you have that have maybe come up over the last few days and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to do this next thing and I have no idea how to do that. You guys cool with that?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Awesome. So, sorry, a bit of dancing and I'm out of breath again. I think we almost know everybody. So we've obviously had the incredible Kamila on Thursday. You guys remember her? How awesome was she? You haven't. Kylie is up next, I believe. Right, Jamie? After this? Yeah, so Kylie's on straight after this. She's our beautiful story maven. You might, what do you call yourself?
A lot of things.
Like the good ones? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, like a brand storyteller, digital marketing story person.
Yeah, got it.
Sometimes.
I love it. Totally. We'll find out more straight after. It's going to be an amazing session. The gorgeous Elissa, who shared so beautifully earlier. Thank you. I think everybody, I've never seen somebody with such a fan club. Everyone was like, oh my God, me. I was. So it was beautiful. I love it.
Exactly.
And I want to introduce you to a lady on the end because everybody else, we sort of know everybody else. You were here at the networking drinks, but this is Emily. She's my friend. She's awesome.
Emily.
But I want you to just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do so as we know what questions to direct to you later.
I'm Emily Utter, and I live here in San Diego. I'm in North County. I'm in Encinitas with all the hippies, and I am a business coach for adventurous entrepreneurs, and my specialty is really in sales and also helping people really step into their personal power, as well as supporting people to get themselves out there in the world and get leads through speaking, through putting on live events.
Beautiful.
But I really love sales, so hit me with that stuff.
Yeah, I love it. So before I open up the floor, because we'll spend most of the time I think doing Q&A, but I just would love you to share. So I did a little bit of chat. I don't know if you were there, but talking about rituals and integration and what you do. I'd just love for you to share some of the things maybe that you do every day, like the stuff that we don't talk about, right? And just if you have anything that your go-to or something that grounds you or helps you out. Do you want to start? Oh, maybe. Is it on? Hang on. Let me see. No. There we go. Mic 6. Mic 6. You want to switch? Okay. Or I could be like, yeah. That's
Yay.
better.
Finally. My morning routine, or just
just anything you love,
things that I do. I read every single day. I read a lot of nonfiction, but I actually make it a point to read fiction as well, because I find that it's really important to have that break. Because sometimes we can get too deep into the self-help and personal development and business. I read a lot of business books, and it's just everything. And for me, I get really hyped up when I read that kind of stuff, and I'm like, yes, but.
So maybe not before bed?
Yeah, exactly. So, although I do read some personal development before bed if it's a boring book, because then it'll put me to sleep. But it's still impactful,
Yeah,
it's
of course.
I don't read it for as long. But yeah, reading is something I do every single day. I try.
Do you have any favorite books? Sorry to butt in.
I literally, I've probably read 100 books this year so far, so I don't even know.
I have Audible, and I do it on 1.25 or sometimes 1.5, because I have so many books I want to get through, and I listen to one every couple of days.
So I'll say one that I really like that Lauren knows what I'm going to say. I've been reading the book called Pussy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. Who's read it?
Yeah. That's a really good one. Yeah, it's
Who needs to read it?
It's interesting because it's like, well, actually,
And the boys.
Steph told me about it first. Yeah,
I may have recommended it to Steph.
there you go. So basically, you told me about it indirectly.
I'm all over it. Yeah, no.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think Lauren got me on to Regime and Thomas Hour, so it was all Lauren's fault. No, I'm
So
kidding.
Lauren told me about it indirectly. That's awesome.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, you introduced me to Mama Gina. That's who we're talking about. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So that's been pretty
level.
cool. So yeah, I read every day. I try to do some like either writing things down or writing my plan for the day or something that's just like by hand. So I really find that that's different than just like typing things out. And I'm not a big journaler. Like I don't journal every single day or even more. Or I'm more of a visualizer. So I have to see it to like feel what it will be. But I still need to write things by hand, whether it's like, you know, just what am I going to do? What's the plan for this? It's just, it helps me think about it differently from, you know, the typical that we're so used to using computers and phones.
I love it.
Yeah.
Super powerful.
I'll let someone else continue.
So good.
For me, it's really 2 to 3 things that I do every single day. And the first is when I wake up, I just meditate or pray 10, 20, maybe sometimes 30 minutes. And then I have to do something with my body. So I usually go for a 2-mile run. And I'm in my head so much that, you know, being on my computer, writing copy, being in my head all the time, I find that my best ideas come when I'm doing something with my body that it kind of doesn't really want to be doing at that hour of the day. So when I run, my mind will just stop. Some people can meditate and have their mind stop. For me, that doesn't happen. I meditate anyways, but my mind sure doesn't ever shut up. So the running and the physical exercise is what does it for me. That's where I get my best ideas usually on the track. I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. And then I do it and it works. But so for me, just moving my body every day is really important. If I don't, I can feel the difference. Yeah.
Yeah, super important.
I journal.
You on?
Hello?
What number is that?
5.
5. Is 5 on? Is the little switch up?
Yep. It's green. Hello?
It doesn't like you.
Hello?
Okay, this one here definitely works.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, there we go.
It's
There we
happening
go.
now. I journal every day. And then I also look at my, I am a big kind of big picture person, then bringing it back to what's happening right now in my day to day. So I have my vision board in a really focal place, just to look at it. I think it's important because then it's for me, that's a way to ground myself and to know, okay, that's what I'm, you know, is there something on there that doesn't feel like I want that anymore, or what is, you know, I like seeing my vision board, and I journal almost every day. Yeah.
I just had a few clients, and they've had to change their vision boards recently because they weren't big enough.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
That
right?
happened to me.
Yeah, I felt like it might have done. But yeah, it's like we changed, evolve. So even allow your vision boards to change and evolve. Yeah, it's really powerful. I love it. Emily.
Is this working? Yes?
Maybe.
Okay, all right. So for me, the best way to actually ensure that I'm going to have a good morning routine is to put my phone on airplane mode, because otherwise it's so easy in the morning to wake up, be texting my assistant or Facebooking, and you guys know how that rabbit hole goes. So when I'm on the wagon, I start immediately with meditation, usually 10 to 15 minutes. When I'm off the wagon, I will go straight to yoga usually. So for me, exercise every single day is non-negotiable. I cannot recommend that enough. I'm totally with you, Kylie. It's where I get my ideas. And also as entrepreneurs, it's pretty stressful and we have a lot going on and we have to move stuff through our body. So for me, that's one of the most important things that I do for myself in the morning. I've also recently become a Bulletproof fan. So that or
We are sponsored by Bulletproof. I can hook you up.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So, and also, you know, a nice warm cup of tea is nice too. So I love to do something that feels comforting, and for me, warm drinks are comforting. So that's how I love to start my morning. And, you know, gratitude is also amazing, and it's easy to do living here. So.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, I'm going to open this up. Who has questions for these incredible women? And it could be about almost anything? Almost? Nick, there we go, right at the front.
My question
All the non-word.
Number one.
My question.
It's the end of
No.
it's the end, so it's okay now.
My question.
It's-
We can hear you anyway.
My question. My question.
Project, Nick. Woo!
we can
That was
hear
me.
you.
Put it right up to your lips.
My question.
Yeah, we can hear you.
My
Okay,
question
project. Speak up.
is for Elissa, and I would love to know more about what specifically you journal about in the mornings.
So if you really want to know, it's usually questions, and then I feel like my writing starts changing, and I don't know.
Can you share a couple of
Yeah,
questions?
so it's
like-
usually sometimes I oh my gosh, sometimes it changes a lot actually. So sometimes it's something that I'm feeling, or sometimes it's I'm always asking, what do I need to know for right now? What am I bringing to the world today? Sometimes it's even a greater collective, like what is there something that I need to process through or feel through and release for on a bigger scale. And so it's just and I used to think I think journaling used to be this I'm trying to get an answer to something, and now it feels like for me I'm visual, but I also have to process through an idea or a feeling that I have to get to understand it sometimes. And so I often will journal through that, but I also feel like that is how I channel 100% of if I need an idea or if I need to understand something, that is where that comes from. And it's interesting. And it's also such an important practice for me, because you look back over the years and you're like, oh my gosh, that, I totally spoke that into being a year ago, and you don't always remember those exact little things. So that's kind of my journaling. Sometimes I'll also there's prayers for people in there too. I think that connection to source is so important, because that's you. So
Beautiful. Wow, we've got lots. Okay, Michelle.
I have a question. It's kind of a few different questions in one. It's all kind of geared towards sales. I would love to hear anyone's thoughts on now with obviously with live stuff is easier to sell right there. One particular question I have is towards Instagram. What are your thoughts on promoting your services on Instagram versus just promoting always your freebies and your opt-ins? And then there's everyone's people need to know what you do, make sure everyone knows what you do, but what's the balance between how much you talk about what you do and offer it versus?
You're the right person.
Yeah.
I don't use Instagram that much, but I can
No,
still.
I don't use
can still,
Instagram either.
I can still talk to it because my clients use it a lot. I would say, well, can you give me context on what you do?
Oh, yeah. So I'm a fitness lifestyle coach, so we offer workouts, programs mostly.
Okay. And what is the price point?
Well, we have a few, but they're we have a monthly membership, and Jill helped us raise our price. It's $44 a month. And then she has a postpartum and pregnancy programs, and they're $59 a month.
Okay.
And then I have a little boot camp that's $44, and we have another little, but nothing's $1,000.
So, yeah.
Things. So in fitness and health, it's an ongoing thing. We've had moments because we also know that people don't always want to be sold, and so we have a monthly membership that's always ongoing. So how do we share what we do without always being come buy our program, without sharing what we do?
Okay, so I'm going to share with you a couple things. And if at any point you guys want to jump in, go ahead. So one of the most typical ones you might hear about coaches, marketing experts say is 80-20 rule. 80% of your content should be value, 20% of it should be promotional. I don't necessarily buy into that personally. I say go with what you feel works for you, because honestly, if you come from the integrity perspective in place, no one's going to be upset, right? And as long as it's not messages that are sale, buy this, okay, buy this now, and that's the only content, people are going to be a little bit annoyed. But if you bring it in, and she could really talk about this, when you bring in a story or you bring in some value, and then
History of where we've been, where we are now, and learn how we got here.
yeah. You could actually have every single post be promotional in nature, as long as there's some value that you also share in the content.
These girls have content I've never seen people
Well, the
have
price
content.
point is great too. Like you can totally go right into the price, like into the sale, because of the price point is not high. So, I would test different things. I would try here, get people on the list, and here get people signed. Like just test. Like there's really nothing that can happen. The worst that can happen is nothing.
Do you guys have any higher price point items, or is that it? Or is that it?
to make them do that.
Raise your prices. Like that's like way. All I can think is like, I think there's like you have a huge opportunity. Like I just hear $49 a month, and I just stalked you guys on Instagram. Like I think there's a huge potential there. But I think it starts with the belief first and foremost. So like marketing, you can do all the things, but it really does originate at the belief. And so.
It's hard for us because we started off with just giving our content for free,
Yeah.
and in the last 3 years ago, we started having services, and so everyone that was following us was used to us this free stuff, and so it's been a hard
That's a belief.
Totally.
Yeah, and so
I'm like, if I hear them with that story one more effing time,
Yeah, that is totally
I'm done
your
with it.
story.
I'm
because-
so over that.
That's your
Yeah.
story.
So over it.
No, because you
We
don't
used
know
to be
who's-
bloggers. I don't care.
and a few of us, can you
I
guys
love
hear
you,
me?
but sorry, love.
Yeah, is this working?
Sorry, go on.
Okay, so I was just going to say a few of us have a really good friend, Tracy, who's rocking it. So she has a membership site that's $19.99 a month for fitness. She's got a shit ton of free content on YouTube. She's got over 100,000 followers. And then she now has 2 tiers on top of that, so higher end. So higher end sales is my focus. I want people making a lot of money, not like $49. That doesn't turn me on. But what she has are 2 higher level programs. So one is a group fitness, weight loss, love yourself coaching program that I think she's right now pricing somewhere around $500 a month, but you put 20 people in that, that's a 6-figure program right there, and you can always scale that above that. And then beyond that, I know she is working with a select number of private clients. I don't know her rate. I think it's around $1,500 a month, so that's a $20,000 client a year, just one-on-one for 2 calls a month. So I definitely recommend that you guys think about where your funnel goes up, and I agree with all these ladies talking about your belief system just needs to be broken and a new one created around that, because it's definitely possible and people are crushing it, so why not you?
And it's not scary. Like I think it's like beliefs. It's like it's fun. Like think of like when you have new beliefs, that's more freedom that you get to experience in your life. So, yeah, I'm so excited to see what your next evolution looks like.
Do you want to share the one idea? I'd love just to get a feel for the room and what would resonate. The idea we were thinking of the monthly for the entrepreneurs. Can you share just a little bit about what that is, and just I want you to just see who would be interested in that.
So we just recently did I guess it was a few months ago, did a Rise, called the Rise Challenge. It was a morning routine where we teach what we teach, is you put soul work with fitness, and because it's, we all just realize it, when you move your bodies when most things happen in your life. And we did a 5-day free challenge on Instagram for 5 days in a row, and it was hugely successful. I mean, everyone loved it, and we were selling our monthly program afterwards, but we were in the middle of upgrading the platform on it, so it didn't work out. That the launch didn't go perfectly in terms of now they could buy. We had to wait like weeks and weeks because it kept running into issues because we have so much free content. The web person got in there, she's like, it's gonna take longer. So everyone, we got emails and people mentioning us. They missed it. Where is it? So it was good to see that. So then Jill helped us realize that offer live version of, because what we do, we pre-record the workout, so it's still like real-time workouts. It's just they're not like live with us. So Jill's like, since it was so popular, try doing that. So we're thinking about offering a VIP level, and we thought about doing it. So we have it on our website. We do have it on there saying.
Good.
Starting off with the 2-month commitment. We did have 6 months. We thought that might freak people out, so we just said 2 months.
That's your mindset again. Like
And we did
minimum
about
6
$150
months.
a month for 2 live workouts. A week. 200. For 2 live workouts a week, and then one kind of like they can ask us questions.
So it's like a group of 15, 20 people live on Zoom though. So it's interactive online workshops. Yeah.
So we do like an intention of prayer before we work out, we kick your butt for about 15 minutes, and then we do slow down stuff, and then we end with affirmations because you're already in that high vibe. So we say very powerful affirmations, and then we have you visualize your goals, say gratitude, then it's whatever feels right, and then we say, if anything popped up, we'll talk with our clients about what popped up. We talk about what popped up for us, and then let them go out there.
We keep it short. Our stuff is that we get you in and out in 30 minutes. So it's like, who says you have to only get benefit for working there for an hour? We're like,
Right?
right. So you can get so
These
much
girls
done.
are like, you're this injection of 30 minutes of accountability live doing that. If you're an entrepreneur and you're at home all day miserable and you had an opportunity to tune in live with these girls for 30 minutes, get an epic workout, a mindset shift, like a couple of times a month in a small group where you'd be noticed if you're not there, who would be up for that as a sit-at-home entrepreneur, right? Like, people want this. And I know I'm spending a bit of time on this, but I want you to know that people want that. And they want to see you sell that. And I want to see you sell that. Because I think you guys are awesome,
We did get our
right?
first one interested in it.
Oh, amazing. But
She's
it's,
new to us too. She just came across
yeah.
and loved it and wanted to know more.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure, of course.
If I were you,
We're open
kind
to
of like I
anything.
did with Elissa, and I said, you're going to add my name to the list, right? I would say, whoever's interested, can you please see me before you leave so I can get your email address? That's what I would say if I were you right now.
Okay. Anyone that's interested, feel free to stop and give me a
Right? It's really cool.
Sorry, I mean,
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
have a client that I had a client actually that did something similar. So she's a cycling coach, and she would do like in-person cycling workshops. She lives in Canada, so it's a seasonal business because in Canada it's like snowy and cold half the year. So we're trying to see how can she actually grow her business and not make it a seasonal business. So we did the same thing. She had a group program where she was, except it was cycling focused, and people would do like indoor cycling and then also like confidence and accountability, and people like ate it up, like loved it. So I think that's a great idea.
Thank you. It's Purely Twins is our brand. We represent mostly twins, and we want people to be purely them and feel confident in their skin and things like that. Do that through reconnecting with yourself through movement. Yeah.
I love you, Michelle.
Amazing.
Hi.
Hi.
My question was to whomever wants to answer it, but as being newer onto this whole thing.
Can you speak up a little bit?
Is that
Speak-
working?
Yeah, get closer.
Oh, okay. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, it's been newer to the whole process of growing into a business. How do you guys find is sort of a good ways to get really out there in the world rather than just, you've got your immediate local area which you can, get into, but how do you get bigger and out there? Like if you guys are probably already really established, obviously.
Share some more. And I think also, actually one of my friends just said this, you have every single day you can either choose fear or going after it, and so sometimes it's not fun to share what sometimes it doesn't, that's not even true. You just have to go through the fear. Really push through that fear and show up. I think ultimately it's so weird because I feel like right now it really comes back to those beliefs, which sounds so weird because I think if you have the desire to be seen and to be out into the world, people will find you, period. And so I think it comes back to, do you want to be seen? Are you ready to be seen? Are you ready? And I think there's some questions. And then you'll get some, if there's resistance or something that you have to deeply look into, then you can, face that belief head on.
Love that.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like whenever you open yourself up to, I agree with everything you said. Like you said it so beautifully, because as soon as you know that you're ready to be seen and you are open to just stepping into that, opportunities will actually come for you to do that. Like that's how I grew my first venture at 12 years old, right? Like I didn't know anything about online marketing or marketing. I didn't even know marketing was a thing, right? But yeah, I had one of the top websites within 4 months. Well, it's because I wanted people to see it, and it's common sense stuff, but I wanted people to see. I knew I was ready. That's just what I wanted to do. So I figured it out. Same with my photography business. There's like 1.5 million ways. So I'm not, I think we could totally go into technical things, but it's like there's so many opportunities. So as long as you're like, all right, I'm ready, it's just gonna come.
Yeah. I agree with all of that. And I would also add from a strategic point, I always have my clients pick the type of content they like to create. So if they like to write, stick with writing. Don't worry about every new Facebook Live and Periscope or whatever that was then and all that kind of stuff. Like if you're a writer, write. I built my entire brand on Facebook posts, okay? Not webinars, not Facebook Lives, not videos even until like a year ago I started doing that. If you like to make videos, but pick one place and create a lot of content there. Someone told me one time, if you want to cut down a tree and you only have a little axe, you need to hit in the same place every single day. And that really stuck with me, and I say that a lot because one of the things that I see a lot of people share with newer entrepreneurs is like, you need to be everywhere. And it's like, no, you are going to burn out so fast if you think you need to be visible on every single platform, every single day, answering every message that comes in. You won't make any money that way.
Yeah, and I just want to like give a little shout out to like actually staying local in the beginning. I made my first 6 figures out of my co-working space in San Francisco. Really, and it was like people who'd seen me around over the years at the co-working space and friends of friends who knew me, and they were like, okay, what happened to you? I want some of that. So there's actually a lot of value in it, and the warmest possible lead, the hottest possible lead ever for you is live and in person, and that's why I love speaking. That's why I love getting out. So, if you live somewhere where there's a population over a few thousand people, you can at least get your first few or get a few more. I don't know exactly where you're at in your business, but get a few high-end clients locally that can start to fund you going and doing things elsewhere. And then, of course, I think so many people hold back. I think Facebook is a great place to start, and I think a lot of people hold back. And I say this to my clients all the time, like, do you even talk about what you do on Facebook? Like, do your friends even know what it is that you do? And I think people are surprised at how little other people know about what they're doing because they don't speak about it enough. So I think if you were to just start with those 2 things, that would actually build some traction for you.
Oh, so good. And I had a new client recently, and she was just like, but I've got nothing, like, I'm not interesting. And I was like, neither am I, right? Like, we don't think we're that interesting, right? Because you just do whatever you do every day, right? But people love the story. Like, when we're going to talk more about story, right? People love stories, right? They want to actually know what you're doing, how you're doing it, where you're going. And I think we forget that we're actually probably more interesting than, well, I don't know. To a few people, we might be more interesting than we think we are.
Well, and maybe that's your story too, is like, I'm just normal. Here I'm,
right.
There's like, you can make it anything.
So you're more interested, like, if that's what I don't know if that's what it is, but like the art you produce is beautiful. You can tell stories about the progression of it, right? Or whatever that is, but you'll find it, it'll come through. You're all over it. Janine. Oh, Elise. Yeah. I'm like, go for it, honey.
Hi. My question is on sales again. So I make predominantly all my money passively from my own digital products. And I have low-cost products and I have higher-priced products. My low-cost products sell easily, effortlessly, without me even trying. It's awesome. With my higher-priced products, they don't sell as often, but if I'm being honest with myself, I don't really try to. Like, I'm sort of shying away from that. So I kind of wanted to know, do you think it's more of a belief thing I need to work on, or it's a strategy thing I need to actually work on, or both, or more?
Both.
Well, you just said why the second one isn't selling.
Yeah.
Because you're not doing you're not even interested in selling it, clearly.
Yeah.
So why would it be selling more?
Yeah. Well, because like my lower cost products sell based on the systems I've set up for them to sell, so it's easier. So I don't try to.
So can you build a system that draws more people to want to purchase your high end? So do you have any kind of evergreen anything leading to it, like a webinar, or what's the funnel that gets people to buy the higher end product? Or if they bought the lower end, do you funnel them into the higher end?
I have a free course that funnels them into it, but I don't have like a lower cost product that leads into.
What's can you share the price and the industry?
$397.
Sorry?
$397.
$397.
Okay.
That's the higher one?
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
highest one, yeah. Yeah.
And then what did you say fed into it? Did you say there was
A course, a free course.
Oh, okay, free course.
Yeah.
Is it like video? Can you tell me more?
It's like text-based, and there are videos as well. And it's like runs over 5 days, and
Okay.
it's on sales funnels, so it teaches them how to build a sales funnel, and then the courses. the actual system and strategy.
So
of
how do they
building
know
that.
there's a course after? Can you walk me through the pitch?
How do they know there's a course? I sort of sprinkle it into the free course, and then at the end pitch like hard.
Describe hard.
Like the whole email is based on
One email?
Yeah. Talking
Okay,
about
well,
that.
that's why.
That's it.
Yeah.
You need several emails.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I would say minimum 3, but ideally more.
Yeah.
And as soon as they buy, they get out of that sequence, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
One email is like most. So here's the thing about free challenges, free courses. People typically lose interest and stop opening after email 3. So
Yeah.
they most people are probably not even seeing that last email unless you start sending more and telling them like specifically like, hey, did you miss it? Putting some kind of a timer on it or deadline or something so that they know like to act now versus later. And this could be a free gift. It could be that it's closing, especially if it's fully automated.
Yeah.
So that in itself will probably make a big difference for you, especially since some people already bought. And then do you know how many people have gone through the funnel and how many bought?
No, I don't. I
Okay.
haven't checked on my numbers in a while.
So yeah, I would look at that too and percentage wise, but it sounds like I think that's a really easy shift that you can make.
Cool.
Yeah, I would say too, like, it sounds like you haven't really looked at your analytics in a while.
Yeah.
So I would also have a look at who has added it to the cart and not purchased and do a follow-up campaign with those people. And then just to tack on to what Kamila said, in terms of creating urgency, you could have a, I love the countdown idea, and they tend to really work. So having a higher price point that, let's say it's normally $9.97, but if you buy it now within the next 48 hours or 24 hours, it's going to be the $3.97, so that they actually feel the urgency.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, way more follow-up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm just going to say one more thing. I don't know if anyone would agree with me, but I have like a weird sort of OCD about price points because they've just been tested over and over and over again, and $3.97 is just not one that I hear. So you may just find that $2.97 or $4.97 makes a huge difference without doing anything else. Like really just changing that, it's just like awkward for me. For some
I agree
reason.
with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Hi, I'm Anna.
Hey.
I don't exactly know what my question is, but I know that I need to ask it. And I'm not sure if how much is going to come from you guys and how much is just me asking the universe. But I feel like I'm at a point, I have a coaching practice, and I've been developing kind of the back end of that and my skill and my program that I offer. And so I have like this, it's a company is really the way I see it. It's a company called Try Love On. And I'm not really sure, like, in terms of social media and marketing it now, because I'm now in the space of like taking it out into the world more and making it, reaching out. It's mostly been word of mouth so far. It's like my question is around social media. Like, I feel like I'm in this space of like, what is my intention with social media? Like, how much is it about me as the founder of this? Because I see myself in the future being like the founder of it and like the head coach, but there would be other coaches. And so I feel like what I mostly have modeled is people who are life coaches and they are the brand. And I feel intuitively like I'm not the brand. Like, the brand is this company. But I also have a really incredible life. Like, I actually feel differently than what you were saying. Like, I feel like my life my life is crazy, and that like it would benefit a lot of people to have more access to it. And at the same time, I feel like I want to be really clear with my boundaries on that to make sure that my social media is enjoyable for me, that I don't feel like pressure to like share all the time. And so I just feel like I'm kind of caught in this question mark of like, how do I utilize social media for me, not necessarily just looking at how everyone else does it. Like, I don't know if anyone's getting anything intuitively about guidance.
Yeah, so,
Well, yeah.
I mean, I think you are the brand, whether or not that's what you want for your long-term vision. I think it's a really good place to start, because otherwise it's really nebulous and it's hard to grab onto. And what people are really looking for in marketing is, do they vibe with you? What's your personality? Like, hearing about your life, that's really magnetizing. And then I also heard you say you don't want to feel the pressure to have to be on social media. And so I just want to invite you into a different conversation around that in your head and the mindset around that, because if you are actually bringing your business into the world to make a difference, which I know you are, and I know you, that requires you pushing through those edges to put yourself out there to be in service to other people. So even putting yourself aside and your resistance aside to actually show up and be the supporter and the promoter of, what is it, love?
Try love on.
Try love on. So that message that you can put aside any of your feelings about it. And of course there's automated ways to do social media, which is not my favorite because you can always see that it's like Buffer or Meet Edgar or whatever it's called. So I don't love that. But yeah, I would just invite you to see if there's a way you could shift your mindset around it where you're actually excited about it. And, you know, you are the creator of your business. And I think in our industry, you know, we really are the face of the brand, and it doesn't mean that we couldn't grow into something bigger. But if you really look at the icons out there and anyone that you admire, the whole brand is based around them and their story, and that's what people are either magnetized to or repelled by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Totally.
Agree.
Anyone else?
Thank you.
Nothing
I would
wrong.
also just get quiet when you're by yourself and actually like ask yourself the question of like, how do you want to show up? And if social media was fun and like none of the past beliefs about social media were even there, what would you be doing? Right? Like what are the things that you would be doing when it comes to social media? Is there...
Yeah, it's like when I feel into social media, like I want to have a space that's like fun just for me and like my personal life. Like I've always used like Facebook and stuff as a way to communicate with friends, and I don't necessarily, I'm a very open person, but I don't necessarily want like my entire life public, like for my own boundaries, for my own like...
Facebook isn't private, right?
It can be, yeah.
But even with your settings for certain posts, you can, you know, change your setting if there's something you want to share that you only want your best friends. I mean, you have to set it up. You have to do the work to have like these friends in this category. So it is work, but you know, I've definitely excluded certain family members from posts, and you know what I mean? So
yeah, it's just interesting because I feel like I'm surrounded, like so everyone in my life basically is on this path of, you know, conscious entrepreneurship and coaching, and it's like most of the people around me are like, well, the reason I'm on social media is to build my brand and to build my audience, even Facebook, and it's all public. And I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm kind of on a different path, but it's like, I don't know. Do you guys know anyone who's an example of kind of, I don't know.
I was going to share a few things. I've gone through a lot of feelings about visibility, a lot. One you can do is you could have a private Facebook group for your friends. Right, or my friends, we're on a Voxer group or a WhatsApp group, right? So there's different ways you can share and be with your friends. I think there's a point where I was like, it's not for social media isn't private for me anymore, and I had to go through that place of like making my Instagram public and getting more friends on Facebook, and I think we have to let go of the fact that, you know, somehow it's not about us anymore, you know, when it's a really big thing, you know, and you know, I heard one entrepreneur, he was like, if you don't have 5,000 friends, like you're missing an opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? I've got like 4,995 or something, right?
Yeah. And I have so many friend requests, and I'm like, I don't really want to add people unless I really know them. But what I really resonate with what you're saying. I feel like something's coming through you to me about kind of mourning the loss of Facebook as I've been relating to it since I was like graduating from high school. You know,
you
like,
can Snapchat your friends.
It's not a private space anymore.
And that's like, oh, okay, and deciding it's going to be something else.
Yeah.
And then what I find with my clients, and sometimes I'll have like a visibility hangover, and I can't be on social media for a few days or a week or a couple of months occasionally. And I don't want that to be the case. So like commit to one time a week that you show up, right? Maybe two. And maybe you do a 9 a.m. Monday morning Facebook Live on your business page, you know, and that's your thing. Right? Pick something that feels good. You don't have to. Another thing I see as well is we think we have to air everything in our dirty laundry on there, and some people overshare. And again, it doesn't have to be like that for you. You can decide what it is and what your boundaries are. My parents are still my friends on Facebook, although I've considered that not being the case. And I have this thing, I'm like, and with everything, right? Because when I said it's not private, like Zuckerberg is listening on Facebook Messenger, by the way, if the app is on your phone, right? I just don't feel like anything's really private. So, and people can share things, and you accidentally post something and you think it's just your friends and it actually went public, like that pussy book, right? I thought I just was like, I was on a call with my clients and I was just like, I screenshotted it on my Audible, I was talking about it, and I just put read this, and I thought I was posting it in my 2 private mastermind groups. I posted it on my personal page and in my Facebook public group. And it just said, read this, pussy, and I'm like, and people started commenting on it, and it was like, I'm like, how in the hell is that person commenting on that? And I was like, posted that on my personal page. Oh fuck, right? So, and I was like, okay, I was clearly meant to do that, and that was supposed to happen. Okay, breathe, right? So, do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think you might have to just let go of that. And if you want to attract coaches to work underneath you, they have to connect to you in your heart to get connected to what you stand for, and to see if they resonate with that and stand for the same thing. So I think this is a whole ton of visibility stuff, and you're going to be okay, but put whatever works for you in place and take those steps. And I also think you're slightly overthinking it. Mm-hmm. And when you're overthinking it, you're making it also about, with respect, about you. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. And if this is bigger, like Emily said, it can't be about you anymore. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right?
So I heard, think of your social media as a tool, and that's what it is. And if you want your Facebook to be a tool to give you knowledge and out there, then that's what it needs to be, because that's what you're building your business on. If it's not that tool that you want to use it for, then it's not that tool you want to use it for. But you have to decide what tool you're going to use in your arsenal to build your business for you. Right. Otherwise, you can have Facebook just be a place for fun and stuff, but that's not going to build your business if you're not using it like a tool.
Right, that's the thing. I think that's the distinction, is being like, okay, deciding, is this going to be a business tool, or is this like just a place to connect with friends?
One of a new client just did that recently, and she's like, I'm going to have to go back and delete all of those photos. And I was like, well, if that's what you have to do first, I mean, I kind of left mine. Oh my God, you could go and have a quick look. But I was like, do you know what though? When I get bigger, I don't want somebody to go and somehow find that in some archive and make it public and me be shocked, right? I'm like, if it's on my Facebook profile, whatever, it's okay, right? I have nothing to hide. Yeah, I got drunk in my 20s and did some stupid stuff, but I don't want to be like, I also don't want to post anything on anywhere that I wouldn't have my parents see, or that I wouldn't want on the front page of a newspaper, right? Mm-hmm. So just run that you can run that filter through, right? Yeah. Sorry, many more. So back to the panel. Sorry, love. Thank you for sharing.
I just also wanted to say, practically, if you do decide to do that, something I did in my own Facebook that helped kind of draw that line was, I said, hi friends, moving forward, I'm using this page for my business, Styled by E. I'm, moving into greater visibility. Feel free to unfollow me if you don't want to, if this doesn't resonate with you. So that then it was like, it gave me permission then to just share as much as I wanted, and that gave people the out too, if that's not what they wanted to, I don't know. And I think it was more for me than for anybody else, because obviously that was their, anybody that's following you on Facebook or is friends with you on Facebook can click unfollow or hide your post or whatever. But it was a good way for me to line in the sand. Okay, now I'm going to be posting a lot more moving forward.
One caveat to all that, we shouldn't be using our personal Facebook page strictly for business. You will get your personal profile shut down so effing fast if you're always selling on your personal. So do try and keep that to your business Facebook page, and share things on your personal one that can be relevant, but you're not trying to sell all the time on your personal page, that might get really messy really fast.
Good point.
FYI, like just a little caveat. Maybe like, how many have we got? One more, Drini?
One.
Sorry, we're like way over.
Thank you. Hi, ladies. My name is Drini, and I wanted to ask if you and any of you have any tips on how to integrate seemingly two separate businesses under one personal brand to simplify things and make life easy.
What are the two businesses?
Sorry?
What are the two businesses?
Oh, I teach yoga, and I'm also a coach, and I help women fulfill their purpose and their potential. So I feel like there's some connection, but then it's like, do I have two separate Instagram accounts, two separate lists? I'm like, it's just too much for me. So I've just been in analysis paralysis, and I just wanted to get your take on that.
Okay, so these two businesses, do they have like separate names as well, like different names? Or
I would like, ideally, for them to be under my personal brand name, my name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
What happened to coaching yoga teachers to like really step up?
That was not.
Wasn't working?
Everybody was wanting me to do that, and I was like, well, that's not what was here. You know what I mean?
I was curious because I was like, that kind of integrates the two. So.
Do you have?
I was like, we were talking about that a year ago. I was like, please don't let that be the thing.
And I was like, but that's not what I want to do. You know?
Yeah.
So.
Do you have a personal brand now, like that you're?
Yes, I've set up my personal brand under the yoga business, and I've grown a considerable amount of following from that. And so that's how I'm known. And now I'm wanting to pursue and really put out my coaching business. So it's just like, okay, do I have a new separate account for that, a new separate brand name? And it's just, Joe's like, no.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's much easier to have, especially if you want to be a personal brand. I mean, just start talking about it in addition to what you're already talking about. And then on the previous, like on the one that's existing, just make it known like, hey guys, we're going to not talk here anymore. We're going to talk under my personal brand. And here I am. And this is the two areas. And there's a lot of people, I mean, there's a lot of people that, well, I don't know about a lot, but there's people that have like two completely different businesses. Like the person that comes to mind is Hillary Rushford. I don't know if you are familiar with her.
Yeah, I follow her. Uh-huh.
Two completely different businesses. Like one is personal styling, fashion. The other one is coaching for entrepreneurs. Like there's no correlation. But yeah, she talks about it, and she just, you know, when she's creating content or whatever, she just says like, hey, this is for the people that like fashion. This is for the entrepreneurs. And she talks about it that way to simplify it. I think I had a client that had something like that, and we created like hashtags for her. So one hashtag was focused on whatever area, and the other hashtag was on the other area. So that people, so she's a career coach, but she also works with entrepreneurs. So she's like, how do I talk about career, like helping people and professional women, and how do I help entrepreneurs? It's similar stuff that she kind of weaves through, but it's different positioning. So we just have it like, hey, entrepreneurs, hashtag for entrepreneurs or whatever, hashtag for career women. And she just, you know, based on context, she talks about that. And it doesn't have to be complicated unless you make it complicated.
Mic drop.
Thank you.
All right. I think we're done. Yeah. I'm not allowed.
I'm not allowed.
We'll get you it next time.
I'm not allowed. It's amazing.
I know Jamie's fierce, man. She's already given us like an extra 15 minutes there. So I'm sorry. Thank you so much, ladies.
Yeah.
How incredible have they been?